and he knew the people and he knew how much. And he says, I don't know why I don't care. He told me that once. He says, I don't know why I don't care. I don't know why it doesn't hit me to call the cops or something. He says, I just don't give a fuck. Depression.
Yeah.
I think.
It seems like it was a pretty, or is it, you think that was depression?
I would guess. Yeah. I mean, he had no respect for humans to begin with. So anything they did didn't particularly surprise him, But it did. It hurt. It hurt him.
Where do you think that came from?
What? Not caring?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never understood that. Because I tried to get him to care about every nickel, dime, and quarter. And I think it's some kind of a depression. And I don't know, maybe his mother built him up to want to make a lot of money. She was pretty high energy assistant. Or maybe his lack of all the money he wanted when he was young made him say, fuck money. I don't know. That's a hard one. But that was really his attitude.
This is a funny one. You told me the story about how he liked to steal signs.
Yeah, this is very odd. I thought it was odd. When I first met him, and we started doing shows, he used his roadie. But after I had to fire his roadie, which was very uncomfortable, he started doing it himself. He would go into a theater, and if he saw a sign that said security entrance or something that scratched something in his brain, he would steal it. He had a screwdriver, he'd get a screwdriver and he'd take the fucking sign and he'd put it home in his garage, and he had a garage full of signs from all over. And one day they had to be fucking loaded. I'm in the back seat and his roadie is driving, and I don't know if George said pull over or if he pulled over on his own, but he got out on a throughway and he went and grabbed one of them great big fucking signs, and they couldn't get it. I says, you can't get it in the car, let alone how you going to get it in the plane. But he actually took it out of the ground. I don't know how he did it. He would steal signs. He loved to steal signs. He would also walk all over an airport looking in the coin returns. Maybe he was trying to get even. I don't know.
That's so funny and weird.
On the other hand, don't forget what a big heart he had. I did tell you that one day we were in, I don't know, American or United, waiting for a flight, and there was a woman that had a little baby, must have been about 4 or 5 months old, and you know how they bundle them all up. The baby was sitting like in a stroller, but had tipped over. And George went up to the baby, and I don't know where the mother was, and just straightened the baby out so it was comfortable. It was sleeping anyway. He would do that kind of stuff. In other words, he could be very sweet, too. He could.
I'm going to talk to Kelly a lot about this, but was he a good dad?
He thought he was. Of course, he told me once, he says, except for money, what the hell can a father do for his kid? Well, I didn't say he really believed that, but I don't know if he really actually believed that. But I think that's all he did, was basically pay the bills and give her things. I don't think that he gave her Brenda was fiercely protective of Kelly. To me, George loved Kelly, and but I don't know if he did the work. I think he had his wife do the work. You know what I mean? Later on, you know, they would go to lunch after she was a grown woman and everything else. But I don't know. You'd have to ask her what she thought of it. I know that he was so OCD about his work that I doubt that there was a lot of good time spent with her. Get her opinion on that.
Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah, I wonder if it's because he didn't have a dad himself, so he didn't know what a dad's supposed to do.
I don't think he wanted one. I know that. He says, I'm forever grateful that he dropped dead because he slapped his brother around when he was 4 or 5 years old. He says, if somebody would have done that to me, George was fragile enough. He knew that would have been it. I don't know how it would have wrecked him, if he'd have killed himself or drank himself to death or what he would have done, but maybe he didn't know how to be a father. Hell, I don't think my father knew how to be a father. But I don't know. George put it down to mostly doing for Kelly. She was into horses and jumpers, and he bought a ranch and he paid for taking care of horses and stuff like that. But to do anything besides write the check, there might have been more interaction when she was real little, but I don't know. I don't think he could have been a great father. I doubt that.
I wanted to ask you about Brenda's death. I mean, I know they had such a tumultuous relationship, but how did he deal with her passing?
He got depressed when he was all alone. He turned 60 sometime near there, and we skipped the party and waited a year and had it at my house. But I told you, do you want me to tell the story about her dying and him hitting the road? Yeah. He put out his first book, which was a multi-million seller, called Brain Droppings. And when you sign a book contract, most people know this, they usually get you to commit to a 2-week or 1 week of PR. Go on everything, and of course George had an open door anywhere by this time. And he was really proud of his book coming out. In the same time, Brenda had breast cancer in her family, and she had a mastectomy, but it metastasized in the liver and it killed her quickly. George went to the doctor, and the doctor told him that she had 2 to 3 months, 4 months to live. He took that as a signal that he could leave and go do this 10 days, say, of PR, do the Carson show, do the Letterman show, do all those shows, and then go home. But when he came home, she died. I don't know if she was dead when he walked in the room or not, but I do remember that she had a teardrop, and George took a Kleenex and wiped her eye and saved that Kleenex till the day he died. Kelly was very angry at him. That wrecked their relationship for quite a long time. She did a one-woman show about it. And she felt that George should have never left, that he should have stayed by her mother's side for the whole deal. And it was really a mess. After he, he had that year when he was alone, and he would go up to the office and he'd say, I had a secretary. He said, you think I would ask her out? That was the one I told you used to lock herself. Should I go with that? That's the one I tell you used to lock herself in the office. And then people would ask, how come you always lock your door? She says, I like to watch porn and have fun with myself. So I said, nah, George, I don't think you should ask her out. And he didn't ask anybody out. He just got depressed. He went out on his dates. And then he met Sally at Dutton's bookstore on San Vicente. And started to go out with her. You know, he'd meet her